It's all about LSU getting ready for Saturday, though. We'll be on the road today. T-Bob and I taking off right after the show. We'll head to Atlanta and have our coverage starting tomorrow morning, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge and E-Tail Business. And a lot of the news coming out of Atlanta right now that's pretty – I mean, you start to kind of pay attention to it, is that Clyde EdwardsHelaire, he might be playing on Saturday. A lot of the reports last week was that he was definitely going to be out against Oklahoma, and the timeline was stress getting him back for the national championship game if LSU was to advance past Oklahoma on Saturday. But a lot of the media, we gave you the quote from Ensminger in headlines, and this is what Ensminger said on Tuesday. I do believe we will have Clyde. That's my opinion. Ed Ogeron and trainer Jack Marucci don't confer with me much, but I think Clyde will be there. I have no problems with the other backs if Clyde's not there, but I truly expect him to be there. Ogeron met with the press on Monday. Here's what he was talking about his All-SEC back and the status for Saturday's semifinal.
Well, Clyde's a little bit better than we thought. He's off the crutches and off the scooter. We're going to see if he can do something tomorrow. It's going to be a day-by-day deal, but I promise you this, a little bit better than what I thought about last week. So he has a chance to play. I don't know if he's going to play. It'll be day-by-day.
Yeah, so Condon downstairs asked me if this was a smokescreen by Ensminger. I don't see it that way. I think that I take what Coach Ensminger's saying there.
And Coach O for
at face value. Yeah, definitely Coach O. It just seems that Ensminger is maybe even a little more optimistic about Clyde's chances than O was. No, I think it is what it is. He is trading the right direction, and it's more likely than not that he will play, but I'm not willing to say for sure that he will. Anytime you have a situation like this, it's incredibly fluid. So we're gonna, we'll just wait and see.
All right, so Ensminger, Ogeron, Aranda, and a couple of players have all been speaking to the media this week. Here's Ogeron talking about the coach on the other sideline, Lincoln Riley.
He's a phenomenal coach, phenomenal offensive coach. He has a great scheme. I think the scheme plays a lot into it, but obviously he has great talent, and he adjusts his scheme according to his quarterback. Jalen is a fantastic quarterback, fantastic runner. He's going to be very difficult to stop.
Ogeron was talking about the preparation for Saturday.
Been phenomenal. It started with me. I think the intensity in the meeting with myself and the focus and talking to them about why we're here, what we're going to do, and what's the expectation. The LSU standard of performance. And there's not a lot of free time to where guys are going out and visit the town and stuff like that. We're here to win a game, and we're going to prepare. And I think that these guys know how to prepare. And today's been a phenomenal start.
Yeah, I know that Moscona talks about this a lot, but if there's one thing that Ogeron has been great at in all of his 3 years here at LSU, it's been getting the team focused and locked in when they need to be locked in, right? In the past, it was his ability after the Alabama game when they had lost to still not, get him ready for the rest of the season and not just kind of throw their hands up in the air. And obviously with this much to play for, of course, Ogeron's going to be able to get this team to focus in.
Here is a couple of the defenders talking from LSU. Is if there is one offense in college football that's comparable to the Tigers' offense, it would be Oklahoma, Jalen Hurts, Lincoln Riley, and the crew from the Sooners. Here's Patrick Queen talking about that unit.
Jalen's a great quarterback. CD Lamb's a great wide receiver. They do a lot of plays, like Coach said. So just looking at the film, everybody just got to do their job. We're going to stick to the game plan. We trust Coach with his game plan. I think it's a great one, so we're just going to see what happens.
Yeah, look, CD Lamb's really good, and he is very explosive, and he's well-positioned to maybe take advantage of LSU's penchant for giving up explosive plays, but the guy that I remain concerned about is Jalen Hurts.
Here is Calevon talking about Jalen Hurts and that Oklahoma run game.
I feel like the running game is probably more underrated than what it is. People think it's they're more of a passing team, but they run the ball in a tremendous way, man. I feel like they take over the Big 12 by running the ball. So, they're definitely a top team for a reason. When you have your quarterback who's leading, I think the conference in rushing yards with almost 1,300 rushing yards, that's a lethal weapon, man. That's something you don't see often in the game of football at this age. But, it's going to be a task, a challenge that we put up to, but I feel like we're well prepared for it. Thanks to Coach Aranda.
Thanks, gentlemen. All right, we'll go ahead and open it.
Yeah, so, and what Caleb's talking about, actually, Jordy, was echoed in a Brody Miller article on The Athletic recently where he pointed this out. It's kind of crazy, and this is where LSU's run defense I'm interested to see how they handle this because they are incredible against more traditional running attacks, but Oklahoma's going to be bringing something that's kind of in the same neighborhood as some of the stuff that Ole Miss was doing. So you maybe get a bit concerned there. But how about this? Oklahoma has 4 primary rushers that have combined for 3,200 rushing yards on the year at an average of 7 yards a carry. So Caleb's absolutely right. We think of it as a throwing team, and those numbers are gaudy too. I mean, Jalen Hurts, another Brody Miller number. If you take out sack yardage, which I don't know why in college sack yardage affects quarterback rushing yards, so whatever. If you do, though, Jalen Hurts has accounted for over 5,000 total yards this season. He has 3,600 passing yards and 1,400 rushing yards.
One of the storylines that has it been talked about, Clyde, on who's going to return kicks if he doesn't go?
No, because LSU doesn't return kicks. They're like, we're cool to get it at the 25 and we cool it.
They should be. But I mean, I wonder if you take Clyde out of that role, if maybe you change your philosophy.
Is Trey Palmer coming back?
I would say Jamar Chase would probably be the top guy back there.
Whoever they feel won't fumble the ball.
Palmer was the punt return, as we've seen Stingley's backup, but I think Chase is actually the backup for EdwardsHelaire on the kickoff return duty. So. It's media day over in Atlanta right now. Lincoln Riley and Oklahoma are at the podium.
Even if Clyde plays, I wonder if he does that. I don't know.
I wouldn't imagine. I mean, you got to imagine even if he does go, he'll probably be on a pitch count or some type of situational type scenarios where he gets in there and plays only. Because I know that it would be ideal to get him back for January 13th, but you got to get there first.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So. Look,
and look, let's be clear. Yeah, even if Clyde sits, OU's not in a good spot either. They had one player go down, one starter go down due to injury. And maybe most impactfully, they had a few players suspended for marijuana because of NCAA tests, which separate conversation be had if that, if is that crazy nowadays or whatever. But they lost their top pass rusher. When you look, they lost, as I am blanking on his name, I can remember his stats. I have it in here. There we go. Defensive end Ronnie Perkins. So he's a sophomore. He leads the Oklahoma team with 6 sacks and 13.5 TFLs. When you are playing an elite quarterback, the last position that you want to be out for that game is your best pass rusher. So there are no excuses for LSU whether Clyde plays or not. If you want to know why LSU is a 13-point favorite, one of the reasons why, and you heard Roe there, like a path to Oklahoma winning this game is taking care of the ball, forcing LSU to turn over. The problem is Oklahoma's been really bad at that. They're 80th in turnover margin, but how about this? This is damning. Out of 130 Division I team, or at 130 college football teams, Oklahoma is 129 in penalty yardage per game. They average 75 penalty yards a game.
Gross.
Yeah. So just a little couple things to watch. If they play a clean game and don't turn it over, this is a way more scary Oklahoma team than you've seen at times this year.